we're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Sarah, yes, the Federal Reserve announcing it will begin winding down its secondary bond market corporate facility beginning relatively soon. A Fed official saying this decision is unrelated to monetary policy. Now, the SMCCF, the secondary market corporate credit facility, these sales will be gradual and orderly, the Fed says, and will aim to minimize the adverse market impact of making these sales. This was established during the pandemic, an historic foray by the Federal Reserve into purchasing something other than bonds and mortgages. It currently holds $13.7 billion in corporate debt. Just by way of context, the corporate bond market in the U.S. is about $46 trillion. So it's a very small amount, both of what the Fed holds, which is more than $7 trillion, and as well as a very small part of the bond market. The plan is for the Federal Reserve to sell the ETFs that it purchased first. Remember, that was how it first got into buying secondary corporate bonds, and then sell the corporate bonds individually. The plan by the Federal Reserve is to wind this facility down, this pandemic emergency facility, wind it down by the end of 2021. Wilf?
And Steve, just to be clear, this is unrelated to the tapering discussions and interest rate levels. If some people are trying to link this in their head, does this now lead to the first step with the next to come?
The Federal Reserve does not want you to make that linkage. They want you to say they're doing this as part of, they did this emergency foray and into secondary bond market to help the economy. Those facilities closed in December. It's been closing some of the other emergency facilities, and now it's going to it closed this, and now it's going to wind it down as a normal part of business. Whether or not that linkage is going to be made, well, people are going to jump, especially because people are talking, as you know, about the Fed potentially discussing winding down its $120 billion of monthly purchases of bonds and mortgages, of treasuries and mortgages sometime this summer.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, you know, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have the Fed to shut down the corporate facilities. Going to be selling those good old ETFs, guys. And that's by the end of 2021. And like I've said it time and time again, they cause a problem. Wait for the reaction and run in with the solution. They're about to bring the house down. And then also, guys, we have cyber attacks. Are evil. Russia. We know the movie, guys. Now they hit gas, meat, health facilities. Guys, it's all a movie. Remember, your life is an illusion. TV is reality. Because remember, when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Meat producer JBS expecting most of its plants to be functioning normally today. That follows the weekend cyber attack, which temporarily hobbled its operations. Eamon Javers joins us now with more. Eamon.
David, we saw those operations really hobbled yesterday. They were down 22% in terms of cattle production versus a week ago. So you can see the immediate impact that this cyber attack had. But now the CEO of the company is saying that things are going to get back to normal. Here's the statement from last night referring to getting back up and running today. The CEO saying, given the progress our IT professionals and plant teams have made in the last 24 hours, the vast majority of our beef, pork, poultry, and prepared food plants will be operational tomorrow. That is today, Wednesday. Who's behind this? Well, a source confirms to me this morning that the group behind this hack is called REvil. They're a well-known Russian-linked hacking organization. Here's what we know about REvil. They hacked the Apple supplier Quanta computer a couple weeks back. They demanded a $50 million ransom in that case. They're made up largely of native Russian speakers, and they post their stolen documents on the dark website that they call Happy Blog. So they have something of a dark sense of humor about all of this. And law enforcement and intelligence know a lot about people who are in groups like this. This is video released by the National Crime Agency in Britain. These are alleged members of another hacking collective called Evil Corp. You can see them doing donuts in Lamborghinis and Audis in Moscow. This is how these hackers are spending their ill-gotten gains. This is what happens when American companies are sending these ransom payments to these hacking groups in Russia. This is Evil Corp doing donuts in Moscow back in 2019, video released by the British National Crime Agency, which said that this particular hacking group was an enormous threat to the United Kingdom. So we see some links between the criminal underworld and the Russian government, but it's not at all clear exactly to what extent Vladimir Putin controls these people, if he does, or if he's just allowing them tacitly to operate inside his borders without prosecution. Therefore, messing with the West in general terms. They're hitting our food supply, our fuel supply, as we've seen over the past couple of weeks. All of that now will be grist for the mill for Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden in their summit in Geneva, which is coming up later this month. A lot to talk about at that meeting, Carl.
Next guest says that the popularity of crypto and the rise in ransomware is no coincidence. Lee Reiner's out with an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal making the case for why crypto needs to be banned in the name of cybersecurity. He's a professor and executive director of the Global Financial Markets Center at Duke Law, and he joins us now. Lee, welcome. It's good to have you with us. Why don't you just go ahead and make the case? I mean, here you have a very powerful friend, essentially, in the form of Warren Buffett. And his sidekick at Berkshire Hathaway. You say, I don't want any part of something that is basically a means of exchange for criminals, fraudsters, drug dealers, and others.
Well, I've never met Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger, but it's certainly a privilege to be considered a friend of theirs. But, look, I've taught fintech law and policy here at Duke Law for the past 5 years, and it's only recently that I've came to this conclusion. I mean, here where I live in North Carolina, you couldn't get gas for close to a week. And it was like that all over the southeastern U.S. You look at what's going on in Ireland right now. For the past 2 weeks, their national health system has essentially been shut down because of a ransomware attack. So, cryptocurrency has been around for over 10 years now. I think that's, enough time for us to take a step back, lawmakers, regulators, and all of us, frankly, and assess, what benefits has it provided and what are the costs? And when you look at what links all these ransomware attacks, it's clearly cryptocurrency. So I think it's high time that lawmakers go after the financial incentive that's underpinning these ransomware attacks.